Hey, hey. All right, Virgos, let's get into a highly detailed message, a very specific message. Okay, we start out with the lovers. I kind of already knew that we were probably going to go down the road of romance because in my head, I was thinking someone's thinking about Virgo. Okay, so first off, we may have someone who is dark haired. Virgo could have auburn hair, doesn't have to. Virgo could be the masculine or the feminine in this, but we do have strong Gemini energy. Someone who feels like they fit together with Virgo like hand in glove. It is someone who Virgo had an intimate relationship with already. They are thinking about Virgo in this timeline. They live in an area, and probably so does Virgo, where there's, it's springtime. There's a lot of blossoms on the trees. It's a bright, sunny day. We do have an albino snake, so I don't know if somebody is all into Britney Spears. Oh God, was that toxic? I think, right, the toxic video where she had the albino or yellow python or something. Okay, there's our Queen of Pentacles. There's our Three of Swords. Someone may have been a bit of a snake. Someone could have had a pet snake as well, but I'm feeling like this was acknowledged to be or have been a purely physical connection. This person betrayed Virgo or left Virgo heartbroken. Virgo may have been very focused on their money, their energy at the time. Virgo could do international kind of business, possibly something online. They may have a real love for lush jungle, tropical places. This card always makes me think of Vietnam, even though I've never been there, possibly also Thailand, possibly also Bali. But Virgo could have worked online for a company. They could have been, maybe dealing in imports, exports. Perhaps they have traveled abroad. This also, though, has a spiritual component to it where Virgo could work in a more spiritual based business. This Virgo has a wonderful, joyful, like inner child energy to them. The way Virgo operates in life seems to be fun, but also practical. They can get their job done, they can get their business done, but there's an innocence to this Virgo no matter what. And there is a profound sense of spirituality. I do feel like there's so much more to Virgo than people would guess. There's layers of them. What most people see is perhaps this practicality. And then they get to, know this Virgo and they realize, oh, Virgo's really straightforward in business and very truthful. Virgo may wear a lot of white or look particularly good in white. It seems like Virgo, even right down to like the way they dress, the way they, do their face, their hair, whatever, it seems pretty like fresh, clean, simple. She's not in a ton of makeup. It's kind of like, you see Virgo's true face in their business dealings. But what people don't know is until they get to the next level of getting to know Virgo, they don't realize, Virgo may have a real, like a cute giggle or something that's particularly fun or sweet about them. They may still have a certain naivete, even if they're savvy in business. But when it comes to like Virgo never lost a sweetness to them, is what I see here. And the other thing that people don't get about Virgo is Virgo has a very mature and very wise element of spirituality. So childlike humor, deep spirituality, I would say huge integrity and business sense. So Virgo's kind of like the full package, but there's another side of Virgo that is hidden. And I would say that's probably their sensual nature, which kind of tends to go along with Virgos as a whole. Now, it doesn't matter what gender we're speaking of, but in this story, we're going to say Virgo is a she again and again. I thought that right off the bat when we saw this card. I thought that was Virgo, and we've doubled down on that. Virgo may have shoulder length hair, or did at the time that they knew this person, that they had an intimate connection. Something happened that really, like, emotions got crashed on the rocks. There was a huge storm. They could have had a fight or an argument, or something came to light while one or the other of them was in I'm picturing more like a thunder and lightning storm during summer months or something. But there was definitely a huge betrayal in the midst of all of this. Now, they're the ones thinking about Virgo, which is what I wanted to go with initially, and I probably should have just said that, is who's thinking about Virgo. And I wanted to kind of like dig in. It is someone who cannot forget They have nothing but good memories of Virgo. They cannot forget the very painful ending. By the way, the bright silver of this, I don't know if somebody's holding a butter knife in their hand, like making toast or something, but they've got a very shiny butter knife or something that they're like, using in the kitchen right now. But it's just it's weird because maybe it's shiny enough that it's giving a reflection. Maybe that is bringing up a memory, or maybe someone is seeing their own reflection in like a very shiny piece of chrome or silver, but for some reason that's a part of this. Now it could be more metaphorical, that someone is reflecting right now as a whole on what happened. We have a 9 of Pentacles sideways. Boy, they are really wondering where Virgo's at. Is Virgo single? They know that Virgo's done well. Wherever Virgo is, they know Virgo's done well. They picture Virgo again in white, so they keep thinking that Virgo is a very like pure intentioned individual. They may think Virgo could have shortened their hair by now, could have dyed their hair, they could have highlights, she's shifting more blonde right now. Doesn't matter. It's just Virgo could change their hair color, or again, it's a metaphor for how Virgo has changed over time. They picture Virgo outside, wild and free. Once again, they always knew Virgo as someone who could exist in like a high power. Also, I'm sorry to back up, but Virgo may love coffee. We have like a cappuccino specifically here. They may think about Virgo having coffee in the morning and, being very good at dealing with people one-on-one, but still being business oriented. And then they wonder, is it at all possible that this Virgo could actually still be single? They know Virgo was going places in their career the last they knew of Virgo or spoke with Virgo. And so there's an element of, sorry, I have makeup smeared everywhere, don't I? I just noticed. Although I am a Virgo, I am not the particularly tidy Virgo, am I? I am not highly detailed. I'm the smudger. But this Virgo could be somebody who, I don't know if Virgo had a dream of someday having property so they could have a garden or a vineyard or a winery, but they almost are wondering, did Virgo get that? Is Virgo single? Did they go into business with somebody? Did they build that winery or buy that piece of property? Look, whoever this person is, we're going to say that they're masculine. I'm going to say they've aged significantly. We have somebody who was, when they last were loving on Virgo, they were youthful. They have significantly aged. They've lost some muscle tone here. Doesn't mean that they're unattractive, but their hair is now gray instead of dark. And they are working on their 8 of coins. Something has changed likely in their life. Maybe this is if they've moved out of a big city themselves. I almost feel like they have withdrawn, even if they still work in the same industry that they used to. They have withdrawn to a certain extent to do some internal work on themselves. They have been doing some form of self-development, and we know that because we can see their crown chakra opening up. Can I ask, how long ago was this that Virgo had a lover's connection with this person? 8 of Cups. It was a long time ago, and Virgo did have to walk away from them. It's a situation where Virgos had no more contact with them. They didn't stay friends. They didn't, because we have the moon, the full moon up there. So when Virgo turned around and walked away from them quite some time ago, I would say we're talking years, not months. Virgo has never known anything else about what happened to them. I feel like it's been no contact for a very long time, especially because we got double 8s there. Virgo may have lived in the desert, but they may have moved since then. Virgo's whole life has shifted, and it shifted in ways Virgo didn't expect it to. The 4 of Cups and the Magician. Again, we got Virgo wearing white. They were wearing white when they walked away too. Look, I'm not trying to say Virgo is always so innocent, but in this instance, whatever the betrayal was not on Virgo's part. 100% Virgo didn't do anything untoward in this connection. So that we'll have to go back to that heartbreak in a minute, that betrayal, and figure out what happened. But we can see again and again and again through their own admission, through their thoughts, they say Virgo didn't do anything wrong. I know that Virgo didn't. If there was a heartbreak, I'm the one who did it. If there was betrayal, I did it. Because for them, Virgo keeps showing up in white. They may really have loved Virgo in white. They may also have thought Virgo was somebody who had pure intentions, somebody, I mean, you wear white at a wedding. It could have been like they subconsciously have always known that Virgo was the person that they should have married. I would say in this story, because it's more about like the person who's thinking of Virgo, we're kind of seeing it through their lens, right? They know that Virgo maybe sat on the fence and waited for a long time for them to come back and fix something. But Virgo had already figured out that something had been an illusion. Whatever it was that they offered to Virgo, they know Virgo figured out, even after Virgo walked away, Virgo still might have been, feeling like, God, what a waste. Could this really be a waste like this? Or is there something that changed? I think they know that Virgo really held love for them, but then they also know that Virgo, in their meditative wisdom or in their spiritual wisdom, they also know Virgo is the kind that bounces back. Virgo is the kind that manifests. Look, this person, as whatever has happened between them and Virgo, I will say this, not for an instant do they not have deep respect and admiration and a good opinion of Virgo. Whatever they did to damage this connection, I don't know yet, but we can see they think Virgo is an absolute winner. They think Virgo is a person who will make a tremendous success of their life. They think Virgo is pretty, like, scrupulously honest and goes after what they want, and they are truthful, and they manifest, and they can do just about anything. Even when it came to like working on themselves or their finances, they see themselves as an 8 of Pentacles. They saw Virgo as a 9 of Pentacles. Virgo was above them in their own eyes. So can we go back, character? Do you want to explain what was that 3 of Swords? What was the betrayal or heartbreak? We know that it was on your side. Knight of Cups upright. They're saying, well, I moved toward Virgo really with pure intentions. I really did. They might have met Virgo during a sunnier time of their own life as well. They felt like it was a divine connection when they met Virgo. I don't know if they like went to a church service with Virgo, or there's just those angel wings are there. I don't know if they thought of Virgo as an angel, or if that's like part of somebody's name. If Virgo's name is like Angel, Angela, Angel, Angelica. I'm sorry, I'm mushing the angel names. Angie. Perhaps Angelo, if we're talking about a masculine. I know I'm referring to Virgo in this as if they're a feminine, but perhaps this was a masculine. There was something here about it felt very angelic. Somebody could have a tattoo on them that could be Virgo. Virgo could have been pretty into like vocalizing what a spiritual bond or how spiritual this connection felt. But we have a 6 of Swords, we have a 7 of Pentacles. The thing is, even if their intentions, because I'm talking about the 3 of Swords right now, what causes heartbreak? We had their intentions to move toward Virgo with love. However, it was going to be a long time before they'd be able to do that. So I'm wondering if they didn't tell Virgo the full situation, that they fell for Virgo, they met Virgo at a time when they actually still had a bunch of wounds and a bunch of other stuff, a bunch of other hangups. I mean, this person might have actually been in a place of like devastating loss. We see them kind of trapped in a bleak room, kind of like on a mattress with not even bed sheets on it, still crying. And although this should be about moving into calmer waters, I mean, I don't know if this person was in crisis when they met Virgo. They thought Virgo was wonderful, but they implied they wanted to move toward Virgo, give love to Virgo. And I think they did start a lover's connection with Virgo. But they knew right out of the gate, as much as I would like to have a lover's bond with Virgo, and Virgo's wonderful, I'm actually still hurt over somebody else. And I'm wondering if it's one of those things where they acted like it was, oh my God, I'm so thrilled to meet this Virgo. Virgo's so sexy. Virgo's so amazing. I'm going to jump into the sack with Virgo. And then the very next day, they're like, I'm still too broken up over someone I'm still moving on from. And I know it's going to be a long time before I don't still miss that other relationship. I'm wondering if that's what the betrayal was, because it feels like Virgo was kind of someone that they shouldn't have been trying to connect with, if they weren't really 100%, but they wanted eventually to give 100% to Virgo, but they themselves knew that it would be quite a while. What was it that they had to fix in their life? This person had to plant seeds of something. Oh God. Okay. So we have the Two of Cups and we have the Devil. In this storyline, whomever this character is, they may have again recognized, for them to have a true partnership with Virgo, they needed to end a connection with a karmic. I mean, it's that simple. Their entire life was quite toxic. It was surrounded by finances, money owed, puppeted by someone else. No wonder they went ahead and they leapt into a connection with Virgo, because Virgo was their divine counterpart. They knew it. They knew it as soon as they met Virgo. Again, we got the angel wings. And I think that they wanted something from Virgo, like having passion, having love with somebody that they truly were crazy about. It gave them an escape from the reality that they still had to deal with. So I think this person basically slipped away from the very toxic world in their toxic connection, where their life was pretty miserable. I feel like they were under the thumb of a karmic in some way. I feel like they were heavily watched, spied on all the time by a karmic. Maybe even bizarrely, if the karmic and they had a business, it was like another secondary way for them to feel very chained. This person felt so chained. Even here we saw it. As soon as they left Virgo's arms, they ended up back in this bleak room. I feel like they had to lie or something just to get slipped away to get into Virgo's arms. I don't know if they met Virgo when they were like, whatever, traveling, or they were out of town, or their, karmic was out of town, or whatever it was. But they made one little freedom break, and that is the context in which they managed to get with Virgo in this storyline. Only then for, in the morning, guess what? Reality hits and they got to go back to that little bleak room and that very toxic life. Now it's even worse because they know that they just met someone. They met this Virgo who they like, who they respect, who they're passionate about, who they want. And they also know, I'm nowhere near being able to be in an equal relationship with Virgo. I think it hit them really, really hard also. I mean, they certainly have a strong memory of all of this. So where are you at right now, character? If all of this is what happened, and Virgo obviously walked away from them when it became pretty clear that they were not free to actually be in Virgo's world. And it was a big betrayal. Where are you at right now? Page of Swords. They are right now just starting to spy like crazy on Virgo after some huge amount of time of Virgo being out of their life because of everything that happened. But they are at a point where they think Virgo is still probably very, very pissed. They may think that, if they can, I feel like they stayed away from Virgo once Virgo bounced, after Virgo found out that they had more or less lied to get into Virgo's bed. And yet I don't think it was a lie that they were crazy about Virgo, that they loved Virgo, that they admire Virgo, that they wanted to be with Virgo. But where they're at right now is they're starting to spy on Virgo like never before. They may be looking for Virgo. They are perhaps trying to evaluate, I wonder if Virgo would ever talk to me again, if Virgo's hugely angry, if Virgo is someone that I could approach, if we could find peace, if I could talk to them. I don't know if they're ready to offer anything to Virgo necessarily. Let me just ask, character, are you? Virgo may again have changed their hair color. They may be much more elegant than ever before. They may look good in deep blue, which is a color of wisdom. They may have transformed quite a lot about their life. They've probably become more spiritual than ever. And Virgo could live in a place where there's lots of rocks, like a rock garden or like a water conservation type garden in their yard. We have a Page of Pentacles. They're definitely going to be reaching out. They may have already written a couple different messages and they're wondering when to send it. That's what they're watching for Virgo. There's a certain date or time coming up where they're going to reach out to Virgo. I don't know if it's around a holiday or if it's maybe it's the anniversary of when they met Virgo. That could be approaching. If Virgo met this person somewhere in like April, May, they might be going to reach out to like say, I've never forgotten you. This, all these years ago on this day, I remember everything about meeting you, Virgo. And I do feel like that's what this is about. They remember everything about when they met Virgo. All right, I'm going to leave that there. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribe.